Hey, it's Camo with Nashville Access, Facebook Live, the MV2 sessions, and I should have worn my hat today. I should have, yeah. Look, boys and girls, it's Kenny Foster.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks, man.
You've been really, well, let's address your tiredness.
Man, I
You've
can't.
been yawning since you got in here.
West Coast time, I'm sorry about it, man.
That's all right. You dismiss it quite easily with West Coast time, but the reason for West Coast time...
True. The ACM Awards, man. It's when Nashville... Well, they say Vegas goes country, but I think Nashville takes a vacation. Yeah. It's really what it is.
Country music's biggest party, and they ain't lying.
No, not at all. No. Wow, it should... Vegas is really a 2-day town, and when you're there for 4 or 5...
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get the 2-day hangover, or the 4 or 5 day hangover.
Sure. Well, and mostly it's just tiredness. You know, everyone's so amped and excited to be around each other in a new climb. You know, because I mean,
it's purely the networking.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. And maybe a few cards here and there. Just throwing some cards around.
You played some stuff while you're out there?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, we played over at Stoney's, which they've got a really cool thing over there.
Yeah.
They built something pretty special. And then Manly Bay, we had a songwriters round, which was a lot of fun. Nashville Unplugged over there.
Who were you on the round with?
Smithfield. And
they rise not fast.
Absolutely, and Ryan Beaver as well.
He's killer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. That's good company.
And it was hosted by Travis Howard and Aaron Bellwood. So
nice.
we had a good old time. I think we went late too. Yeah, that one was till 2, I think. So.
Oh man, yeah, you don't do that at the Bluebird.
no,
or the Commodore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You've been getting a lot of success in the UK lately.
It has been fun.
Getting success anywhere is good.
Sure. Sure.
But is it kind of weird for you getting more and more popular outside of the country?
I don't know. Something about it really makes sense to me, honestly. I think we're just really inundated here with folks that are coming in and out and looking for attention from various climes, and just, you know, there's a fight here, I think, and then there's sort of like an entry level of getting over into the UK. You know, just the Atlantic. The world's getting smaller, but the number of people that go and take a chance over there, I think, are fewer and further between. I grew up kind of obsessed with English culture, British culture in general. I went to British soccer camps when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old.
Who's your favorite team?
Well, right now it's Tottenham Hotspur.
That's my team. I've always been
my team. Are you serious?
Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
We should talk.
Don't meet many Spurs supporters that hold their heads up.
Dude.
Although the past couple of years,
past 7 years, man.
We've done pretty well.
It's been a slow climb. Yeah. We'll have to talk later.
We've lost all the Arsenal supporters, but that's okay. You can't read anyway.
He is Spurs.
Yeah.
He is Spurs.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
That's cool.
Yeah, and forgive me when I say right now, it's just because the Spurs was a new thing for me. It was 7, 8 years ago, but man, we jumped in really, really hard. They came to Nashville this summer. Did you get to go to the match?
No, I didn't get to go.
Shoot. We had a blast.
Saw them a few times at White Hart Lane.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, and the new one.
The new one, yeah, that's going to be...
It's exciting.
Pretty spectacular.
Because we were just there, and it looks great. We went up to Alexander Palace, and you can see the stadium from there with the cranes. And
we used to go to the London Irish Club. That's
of course.
For the game, yeah.
Of course, we probably have a lot of
okay, back to your music.
Soccer music.
Sorry. Right. So yeah, no, the UK's been awesome. They like what they like in the UK. It's not as if there's a particular entity that they look to.
The Americana sound is becoming increasingly stronger there, and I think it's a bit of a slower burn here, but it's
sure. It's been slowly climbing here, though.
Yeah.
They have their own chart now, which is a new development.
But Bob Harris, when he was here, we mentioned him from the AMAs last year, and he was saying how British country music has developed kind of... it takes influences from American music,
Sure.
but it's a purely British form of country.
Absolutely.
And once he kind of explained that to me, it's okay, I get that. But
Sure.
they still want that pure American country sound.
Well, and with no offense whatsoever, they just can't do it.
Yeah.
Because it's just a different world. It's a putting on an accent just doesn't fly because
I think Tom Jones is the only British country artist that ever made a #1 on the U.S. charts. That was Green Green Grass at Home.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's tough.
It is. Well, I think because what is loved about country, I think at its core is, besides the storytelling, is the authenticity. It's the heart of the situation.
And the rooting to the land as well.
Absolutely.
It's still a big part of country music, and they don't have that same. There's a connection to the land, but it's completely different than what we have.
Which is so crazy because country borrowed a lot of what it does from Celtic music,
exactly.
Irish and English music. So I think there's just a folk connection that is understood, and especially for what I do, I think there's a sentimentality and a, because I try to throw back, to the classic days of country, but then even beyond, to try to hit some of those ideas and those
country and beyond.
Yes, those concepts that are kind of eternal and in scope. Yeah.
And that really draws more, like you say, more from kind of that folk background.
Tradition, sure. Yeah, it's funny that way. Well, and there's no distinction over there either.
No.
It's folk country, Americana is.
I even felt it was great going into a record store there because Virgin, they didn't categorize anything. It was just alphabetical. So you knew exactly where to look.
Sure, absolutely.
And especially today when music is crossing so many genres, where do you file Ed Sheeran?
It's a fair question.
Where do you file Cash? Punk or country?
Sure. Well, fair enough.
Or rockabilly.
Sure. Well, I think it's an interesting thing going forward as the traditional infrastructures are sort of breaking down. There's a chance for an emergence. I mean, I think people do want to go to something that's familiar. They do want to find things that it's good to be delightfully different, but I also think it's important to keep musical diversity as well. To make sure that, not saying stay in your lane, but
staying away from that homogenized sound
Sure.
that seems to be increasingly popular today.
Well, it is, and that can come from radio consolidation and all sorts of things that we can drive into. But
it's a big conversation.
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, it's important to I don't know, put in the development, figure out who you are and what you care about, and then be that thing.
How do you find audiences over there compared to here?
They are attentive, and I've thrown a lot of things against the wall to see what I think the reason for that is. But honestly, and this is my most sociological breakdown, is I think that they have more leisure time in their lives, and so
that's a valid point.
They have 4 to 6 weeks guaranteed vacation, and so I don't feel like their daily grind wears them out like they wear here. And so
I know commuting back and forth to London, I had 90 minutes on the train every day
to just
listen
podcast
to music,
any of it, and I think that just the pace over there and the expectation is just more reasonable for human consumption. And so when they go to watch music, that's the only reason they're there, not to also see their friends, also get a night out to obliterate the work week and get their drink on, and that's all necessary, and I understand it, and it's fun, but especially for what I do, I guess my style of country, I think people that pay attention are rewarded. I care a lot about lyric, and I care a lot about presentation, and so there's some great guys that when you want to throw a beer up and enjoy the heck out of yourselves, go see those guys, enjoy yourself. But for what I do, some time and attention, I think, rewards the people that are there, and so and they tend to do that.
You want to do a song for us?
Sure, yeah, why not?
Now you have 2 singles out, kind of, right now.
Sure, yeah.
We'll talk about that in a minute, but
I'll play the newest one.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so the single that we released over there this last time in March was a song called Made, and I'll just do that. Yeah, you might drive a fast car, keep diamonds in your drawer. You might have a corner office on the 42nd floor. You might like the way it fits you, but you can't take it with you when you go. I've got 4 mouths to feed, bills coming every month. Go to work 6 days a week in this buy here, pay here truck. And it may not look like much, but believe me, it's enough to feed my soul. 'Cause I ain't got the riches, I ain't got the fame, but I've got a love and family carrying my name. Ain't got it all, ain't got it right, but I've got it made. 'Cause see, there's always someone out there getting somewhere better fast. I don't see the point in wanting to know there's somethings I don't have. 'Cause I'd rather give my all to all that's living in these walls. 'Cause it's all mine. 'Cause I ain't got the riches, I ain't got the fame, but I've got a love and family carrying my name. Ain't got it all, ain't got it right, but I've got it made. See, ooh, little freckle-faced ruggrass running through the kitchen. Ooh, pretty hot, strong-minded, God-loving woman. Ooh, at the end of my days, I know where I'm headed. I got no regrets in knowing that I ain't got the riches, I ain't got the fame, but I've got love and family carrying my name. Ain't got it all, ain't got it right, I've got it made. I've got it
Very cool.
Nice.
Nice song.
Thank you.
So you've got that out. That's out now?
It is, yeah.
But you've also got another single.
Well, Stand,
Yeah.
yeah, which is so interesting because it seemed like a distinctly American single to me, but it turns out I guess there's troubles all over.
Yes.
So,
So you're working singles to kind of both American and British markets.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just kind of the way it is, you know. It's interesting. I don't know what works where. I'm just trying to be me as much as many places.
That's
as
the
possible.
music business today.
Sure.
There ain't no formula.
Yeah, which is great. I don't know. I think blowing the door wide open for people for discovery. Let them like what they like. I think the number of people that Chris Stapleton's brought to the genre is probably insane.
Yeah.
And there's some people within the genre that would say he's more soul than anything.
Well, it's like trying to define the Allman Brothers.
Sure.
You know, country, soul,
Southern rock.
They
Yeah.
hated being called Southern rock. You know? But yeah, where do you put that stuff now?
Well, I mean, I'm trying to
in
think
your
of,
ears is
exactly. Yeah. Well, because I don't know. I was trying to think when I'm over there, because they say who were the strongest influences growing up, and it was funny because I grew up on like James Taylor and Paul Simon, but I don't know where they live right now.
Yeah.
I have zero idea where they would live. Probably in Americana, maybe in country.
I mean, Tom Petty's Americana, Robert Plant's Americana.
Sure.
Sure. You know, Asleep at the Wheel's Americana.
Sure.
You know, it's just...
It's the catch-all, which is maybe why people are going there to find more of their music, because I think they just want it to be good.
Yeah. Do you see yourself as just a pure artist, or do you kind of get into those labels a bit? Country artist, Americana artist, or are you just Kenny Foster?
I am Kenny Foster. I use the hashtags American music, hashtag American music, hashtag country music, because I think what I do is distinctly American. I think I grew up in the Midwest, and I take influences from everywhere, rock and roll and alternative, but I didn't even really get to discover country until later on in life. I was probably in junior high before I even was aware.
Wow.
Which is crazy, growing up in the middle of the country. But where I was from, there was a distinction. You either liked rock and roll or you liked country music, and never the twain shall meet.
Where I grew up, it was the same thing.
Sure.
You know, I was like one of two guys out of 1,500 people that wore boots.
Well,
you know?
I didn't know how comfortable they could be, man. To be honest, it just came around to understanding the craft of what country music can be and do, and it influenced me forever.
Yeah.
I'm not the same writer that I was before I discovered it, and I'm also not the same writer that I was before I moved to town. Like, to come here and realize, I don't know, the great legacy that's been built, and to realize that the heart lives in country music. It just is. And so I relate to country music because those are my people. This is where I come from.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, I don't know, my experience is not distinctly country. What I look for is the universality of what it is that I've experienced, but the lessons that I got to learn because I was living around great people in very calm and peaceful climes in the middle of the country, where your only goal was to be a good person, because what else did you have to do? And I appreciate that mentality.
You'll appreciate it a lot as you get older.
Sure. I long for it, man. I still do.
I think that's an interesting perspective you have about how country music made you a different songwriter, because for me, growing up in country, I mean, I played steel. Yeah. And the only dorkier instrument you could play in high school would be accordion, which my brother covered. We were popular.
Love that household. Yeah.
I had all the girls lined up at their front door.
So growing up listening to country music made me appreciate bands like the Eagles and Zeppelin, because the lyrical content was there. And then you get into, Tom Petty and Springsteen and all those guys, and it's like, this is a purely American experience.
That's folk. I mean, everybody you just mentioned is folk music with different instrumentation. But that's the thing. I mean, that was the focus. I always loved music, and I loved bands with strong frontmen that just spoke their mind, and I loved that. Even if my experience wasn't that, I recognized their honesty. I recognized their authenticity. That's what
Pete Townsend, talking about great lyricists and writing about Soho. I mean, I had no idea what Soho was. And then I found out what Soho was, and I thought, maybe I didn't need to know that.
Goodness me,
but there was that universality of hopelessness and devastation and all that kind of stuff that they brought to the table that, again, made you appreciate what you were doing as an artist.
And how interesting that the specificity of their moments were so authentic that it carried over. Yeah. And so it's odd, because you can either become universal by getting very specific, or you can get really specific by becoming universal. Yeah. It's and you have to
mind blown.
You have to know when to do what. Yeah. And you can't do both. at the same time. But you can do. Yeah, I don't know. That's been the craft. That's been the learning. Just one of them.
You want to do another song?
Yeah, I can do another song. Cool.
Coincidentally, your guitar is there.
Oh, weird. Let me just. Ooh.
Okay.
Mind blown once again.
I'll do this one. Okay. This one's called Good Enough.
Cool.
And yeah, it's fun. Bottle of champagne, bag of the fridge, fancy gold cat. We were holding out for the down payment, yeah, and it ain't there. But the way I see it, it's good enough. Remind me again, what were we saving that for anyhow? The grand slam win, a perfect moment, well, how about now? 'Cause the way we've been running, I'd say it's good enough. Dreams been lost and found, had our ups and falling down. This going's been tough, so let's celebrate us. We can't keep waiting for the good times, good times. Can't keep slipping through these rainy days. We're both in this for a long ride, a long ride. Ain't that good enough? Ain't we good enough, babe? Finally found that fixer-upper on the main and 10. And if we stop on paint and decorate, we can make the rent. Yeah, there's room for 2, maybe 3, and that's good enough. There's a full moon tonight, so let's turn down the lights. And if the heat don't run, I bet we can make some. Can't keep waiting for the good times, good times. Can't keep slipping through these rainy days. We're both in this for a long ride, a long ride. Ain't that good enough? Ain't we good enough, babe? No, no. So raise 'em up and drink 'em down, just like we won the lottery. Baby, it's true, I found you, and that's winning to me. It's a cake and rice, haunts and love, 2 rings and a vow. Yeah, it was good enough for us back then. How about now? Can't keep waiting for the good times, good times. Can't keep sleeping through these rainy days. We're both in this for a long ride, joy. Ain't that good enough? Ain't we good enough? Ain't that good enough? I know we're good enough, babe.
Very cool. One thing that really catches me about your music is the way you use dynamics, vocally, lyrically, and instrumentally. I mean, you take people on a ride in one song.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because I think I got that idea from emo bands when I was growing up. I mean, there was just this. I even had some friends that were in a band that when I was this song, I was just like, but they would like, I was an angsty Midwestern kid, man. Like I ran the gamut. But you know, they would have these pauses and say something really profound, and then like the originator of the drop, and then they would just sit there, and I was just like, oh man, like that. because that was moving to me.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter if you were in the room, you got to experience that with them, and I always thought that was really important to do.
That's cool. No, it's a really great sound. I really like it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
What do you got coming up on the horizon next few months?
Well, it's funny. I'm going to New York today.
Oh,
Yeah. It's oddly enough to play at a celebrity soccer tournament for Tribeca.
Cool.
Yeah, for the film festival. So.
You want to go out and play? We'll go kick the ball around.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I used to play goal. I wasn't any good at it, but I used
Excellent.
To, yeah.
I'll
So
just
you can score a lot.
Okay, I'm excited.
He
for
smoked
it.
and stood there.
Yeah, I did.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, just smoked and stood there. That's funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then playing Whiskey Jam next Thursday here in Nashville, and then CMAs are coming up pretty soon. So then we'll be back over in Ireland in August. So it's it'll be a good summer. I'm excited about it. Yeah, a lot of riding this summer, riding with a bunch of folks, bunch of artists that are old friends and doing well right now. So I'm excited about the next few months, to be honest.
Right. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, of course, man.
This
I
is
really
a blast.
appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
Kenny Foster, make sure you go check him out. You will not be disappointed. Trust me. See you.
Thank you.